I ain't late. I'm not late. I'm just had to. I had to eat. Mm, this shit is bullshit right here. I'm not late. I just had to eat a little bit, man. Had to make me my burger wasn't ready for on a grill. What's up, y'all? Smashing that bass, Jason Ewing. What's up? Yo, I ain't late. I had to just get my grub on. So just excuse me and talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Let me finish my burger. I need that phone, Catherine, because that's how I see the text because I can't see it from there. Yo, we got burgers from local farms, you know what I mean? Because we're surrounded by farms and stuff. And we got burgers from local farm, right? It's like local cows. You heard? Damn, local cows. And am I fucking blurry or something? What I look like? Am I blurry? Am I tripping or something? I might be tripping. I think it's this shitty ass lighting in here. I think it's a shitty lighting in here. Or maybe I need to turn the color or down or something. Yo, I'm getting this fucked up like yeah, man. I don't fucking know. I look blurry. I might be tripping or something. I might be tripping. I look blurry. Am I blurry? Jova, what up? Yo, give me a couple of minutes and let me finish my local hamburger. Give me a couple of minutes. Do my local hamburger with my local bun. I just took it off the grill and Cassian told me it was 4 minutes late. And my cheese wasn't melted yet. You cannot have a burger without cheese, man. You cannot have a burger without cheese. I don't know. That shit is damn near un-American. And you can't put a damn burger on a goddamn sandwich bread. You gotta have a proper burger bun, bro. Like who the fuck does that? And then you gotta make a hamburger and put it on daggone plain flat bread and not use a bun. For real. I'm just trying to get my grub on, man. Hey, I'm out here playing with. So what really happened is I had the camera and the laptop set up in another space, but Cassian doesn't like the fucking space, so I had to move at the last minute while I was cooking my burger. So my burger sat there and got a little cold. So I had to reheat it up and come over here. And now I don't know what's up with her. You participating today? Because I want to take a second to eat too. You hogging up all the seconds, Cassian. Yeah. So anyway, Cassian, I'm trying to eat too. You don't need to eat. I do need to eat. You could afford to miss a couple of meals, but I can't. Excuse you? I'm just playing daggone. I'm just playing. I can't. I'm too skinny to miss a couple of meals. You're the one who was supposed to make gain weight the other day. I know, but I can't afford to lose it. I can't afford to lose a pound. Why don't you push that down and bring that over? There goes my drink. Says it. You push this too far down, Amela. This can't pass through now. Where you trying to go, Christian?
I'm trying to come beside you, but this can't pass through because the whole party pushes down. Says I want my drink back. No, this is our laptop. Why give me this?
Give me a second.
Hello.
Yeah, I clean off my table. So I'm trying to eat at the same time. And it's rude to eat in front of the camera, but people don't care about eating or not. Excuse me, let me finish eating. Talk. Talk. I'm trying to eat.
I'm just I keep on forgetting that the computer is not. I don't know why it's taking angle the way it is. Oh, that's the camera. Ha! Okay. How is everybody? Is it got some grease on the camera? That's probably where the blur is coming from. Oh, he's right. It's the grease on the camera, Armel. It must be from your fingers eating the burger. Is that better? The lens is dirty. Okay. All right. So today's topic, conservatism versus liberalism. How they do differ. Yeah, it looks better, right? I'm gonna bring a paper towel when you come. I think he dirtied up with the burger, the grease from the burger.
Yeah, because I was moving the camera.
I'm sorry, excuse us for a second. Okay, that's kind of better. Well, there you go. I don't know why you choose to have it in this direction. It's like sideways, you know. All right, so who's here? Jova, Ray Official, Shana, Jason, Smashing That Bass, and Too Rich. I think I've named everybody. Welcome, all of you. Yeah, I think I've mentioned everybody. Shana said it long time, but Arma probably didn't see when he said the lens was dirty. All right. He should be here in a second now. I mean, he had a long time to cook because he went shopping for the burger meat hours ago. But he was thinking around, and then he decided to cook the burger last minute. So, all right. So the topic is conservatism versus liberalism. How do they differ and how are they the same? I always don't like to do videos that's more than 6 minutes long, and it was kind of like 30 minutes long, but Arma was like, well, some people do stuff that's like 45 minutes long. I don't know how many of you had a chance to actually watch all of it, but I actually ran through as quickly as I could. The differences between conservatism and liberalism. And the general premise is that, I mean, of course, some of you know that both parties had switched, kind of changed over ideologies. I think it was the 60s and 70s. I'm not American, so I believe that's what it was. So in terms of there is what it means to be a liberal and what it means to conservative is actually it's changing and shifting, and it has even shifted even more with recent politics as to what that means. And one of the things that both Armin and I can agree on is that they become trigger words, where people stop having dialogue and talking to each other. I mean, I remember with me being from Jamaica, and politics was basically serious business. If you're PNP, JLP, and one of the things I always admired was the fact that Americans, you could discuss politics and then be friends and move on. And in recent years, that has not been the case. But we both agree that both words have become trigger words, and we no longer able to seem to have really good political dialogue, discourse. We can't seem to agree to disagree. And that being said, we think it is really in the end the overall agenda of corporate America, because we're more a corporate society than even a political society, I believe, because corporations run everything. And especially since it's been declared that corporations are no entity and people, hence almost having the same rights as that. So you feel better now?
Much better.
Okay.
Much better.
Um, so when I broke down the thing between conservatism and liberalism, one thing we could agree is that it really comes down to what positive and negative liberties mean, and to either party, and how do you make sure that you still respect individual liberties and still be within a cohesive society, right? And one thing, like I said, I could agree on is that because remember, corporate America, their trigger words, and corporate America, be the Koch brothers who run everything, which is a private organization, is that they're funding both sides of the aisle for whatever agenda suits them to fatten their pockets, and how we're all
Like the 5 cents plastic bags and the free paper bags, and before the 5 cent paper bags and the free plastic bags, stuff like that. But
yeah. So I mean, you want to elaborate on that?
yeah, just go ahead.
No, but I was just simply saying that they the media narrative really only suits end up benefiting the pockets of corporate America versus the people and the citizens. And we ourselves get so blindsided and caught up in who's a liberal and who's a conservative, that we don't realize that in the end we're all almost like pawns in a really vicious
game,
cycling game that maintains the status quo, and very few actually escape to reach the top.
And a lot of us seem to blame corporate media or the media itself or this like that, and they all pay bills to the same daggone people that we do. You know what I mean? Most of the media conglomerates are owned and financed by the same people. So there's two major companies in the world. And if anybody can know in the chat, if y'all could just punch in, who do you think these two most powerful companies are? Anybody can guess or tell me? Can anybody? Just type it into the chat, you know, if you can. Well, one starts with a B and the other one starts with a V. So anybody take a guess on that? I'll give you that. These two major companies that control everything moving. One is called the Vanguard Group. The other one is called the BlackRock Group. Now, y'all can look this up and figure out these are companies that have investment funds. And what they do is, you know, they send our ass to work and we pay into these 401k things and all of what we call our benefits package. And they take this money and invest it in the companies. And a lot of these companies, all of the companies happen to be Google, Amazon, everything you can name. They diversify the money that we work for to contribute to these funds, so the funds can invest in the machine that controls us. So then these two companies, BlackRock is majority owned by Vanguard, and Vanguard is majority owned by BlackRock. So you can't fucking win because you're feeding the machine on every way. And these machines are financing the media conglomerates, the internet online conglomerates, you know. Then there's the private companies. Their Vanguard and BlackRock are funding what they call public funds, because they use funds from the public rather us working. They fund publicly funded companies. That's our companies that are in NASDAQ or the stock market and stuff like that. But then there's private companies like Koch Industries who control everything from us wiping our ass to the shit to clean the toilet. You know what I mean?
the papers, the plastic, the petroleum, the cleaners, everything, the damn glass. It seems like our everyday politics are giving us a nationality that really doesn't mean stuff. So we looking at China, like, yeah, China's making everything. I ain't buying nothing from China. China doesn't have the resources to produce glass, their own shit. They don't have resources to produce the cheap plastic that we complain about. That shit is done right here in the United States out of resources that's collected all around the world and shipped over there. And then as we create waste, these companies are collecting our waste, saying that they are recycling it, and they send in half that shit to China to reproduce and sell us. Nothing is wasted in corporate America. The only thing is wasted is the money that they get us to waste and give back to them. You know what I mean? So the whole purpose is to maintain control of everything we do, and they control us with our everyday lives inside our household. They influence us with our politics by creating division and divisiveness, and putting money in these politicians' pockets, making them think that they have power or a say so, and really nobody does. But we get these words like socialism or what capitalism and shit, and it's just, what is it?
A lot of people don't know what socialism really is. Actually.
I'm not a socialist, but socialism is a concept. If you can elaborate on socialism, Cassian, since you said it.
Socialism?
Yes, if you can.
It's. I mean, the basic idea is
the ideology.
The ideology is the sharing of resources, where you give more to the poor that might need it.
An example of socialism would be what we call here in the United States Medicare. The goddamn the military, post office, public schools. Those are social programs. Police departments, for goddamn every law enforcement branch. You say Obamacare. All of these are socialist concepts in America. Now, we said get rid of this socialism, but what most of us would do without the post office? Use UPS and daggone UPS, and what's the other one?
UPS.
What would anybody in the United States do without a military? That's a absolutely socialist concept. No matter what you do, this guy could be a nuclear engineer, and this dude could be a daggone painter, and they get paid the same daggone much money. You see what I'm saying? This one requires to know a whole lot more than this one. All he got to recover is brush on, brush off, or a boot washer, a car washer. You know what I mean? This one here, he runs out, get his brains blown out, while this one is running drones, but they get paid equal rank, equal pay. You know what I mean? If that's not the most socialist concept I ever heard of, that's something. Post office, most government agencies, whether it's CDC or NIH, all of those are social programs that's designed to help. Sometimes it do, sometimes it don't, depending on the corporate interest. And the corporation's job is basically keep us alive and healthy so we can go to work, so we can spend more money and go to work some more, and spend more money and go to work some more, and spend some more money and go to work for more.
I mean, anybody who's in corporate America known, as time has gone for the past couple of years, right, is that you're asked to do more and get paid actually less. So while inflation rises, you barely get an extra 1% if you're lucky every year, while inflation raises much higher, right? And you're required to do way more work. One of my last stints in corporate America to talk about it was the fact that when I started, I ended up getting 3 times the work of a manager, managing way more money and people, and they fired 2 people. So I was doing the job of 3 managers, and in the end, I'm like, you're still the goalpost kept on rising and rising and rising. And every time you surpass it, they changed it again. And then they kept on changing the compensation plan. So in the end, I'm like, damn, I'm working 3-4 times when I first started, but somehow I was making less money and they were making way more money.
And then the technology, the crazy shit, right, Cass? The technology was
worse.
The technology was supposed to make doing jobs easier and more efficient, but it seemed like that shit made it pile on more fucking work.
Yes, because now there is no break between when you're at home and work, right? Because nowadays, because of technology, everybody know that everybody have access to their phone. The idea is that if your boss texts you at 6-7 o'clock, and that actually happened to me Friday on a 6 o'clock, boss upset because I didn't respond to a client who said something after 5 on a Friday, right? Because you're expected to be at anyone's beck and call. And it's like you're just working, and even though you're making all this profit and money, you're not seeing it as the one down here because they're squeezing out all the profits, which is why years ago, the most a CEO used to make more than his people were like, what, 10 times? Now
10
it's
times.
like 1,000 times more money. CEO walking away with $50-100 million a year, and his staff barely making $100.
With the inflation, they say inflation in America is leveling at 7%, but every time I walk in the Dollar Tree, that shit look like 30% to me. Because what used to cost $1 is now $1.25. So if we measure that with inflation, that's look like 25% inflation to me. But they think that people don't know how to do math.
I mean, people do all the time, like what you could afford.
And then the
30
taxes,
years ago
you throw in
versus
the
now.
we in Virginia, so you throw in the 4% tax. That's 30% inflation. Now, did people get motherfucking 30% pay raise? Did people get 30% pay raise? Like for real? Nobody got a 30% pay raise. I damn sure didn't get one. You know, if somebody got 30% pay raise, let me know. But at the same time, right? The CEOs and the corporations themselves are making record profits, right? And the conservative point of view was free market economy. You know what I mean? Let the corporations make more money, and a corporation will sprinkle down, you know, to give to the people. But that shit, that trickle down economics effect, right? That trickle down shit end up fucking every damn thing up. And these motherfuckers buy more planes, more yachts, more every goddamn thing, and we get dick. The other side of it is when they fuck up and crash, we became so dependent on the corporations that the socialist aspect kicked in during the lies boom, and the President Obama had to bail these motherfuckers out. And who paid for that? We end up fucked on. They don't pay us with the trickle down, and when they fuck it up, we got to pay them. This shit is, you know what I mean? And the politicians are the mediators that put us in between them and their corporate interests.
Please, politicians don't give a
So whether it's liberal or conservative, I don't necessarily understand this
politicians
shit.
Don't give a fuck about the people. I mean, it's really about.
And the party don't even matter.
One of the things is always funny was that these politicians go into office, some of them broke and poor as hell, right? But somehow, by them staying in there for years and years and years, they're worth $100 million. Which is well, how many?
And Cassian is a lot liberal leaning, right? Cassian is completely Democratic leaning, right? And I think it's the same shit. That's why if y'all looked at the Instagram post that I put up, it was something else. And the reason why is because that's I
from
see.
The old movie.
That's from the old movie.
Actually quite
a letter to my Uncle Tom. If y'all didn't get a chance to check out that post I put up a couple of days ago,
it's very powerful.
I think it was like Tuesday. But what happened is when we grew up in a city, and most major cities in America are run by the Democratic Party. And a lot of those major cities struggle with the same commonality thing. And that commonality thing seems to be the same thing that these people in the Democratic Party, progressives or whatever they call it, are trying to prevent. And they ain't trying to prevent it. It don't seem like, because it looks like it's getting worse and worse every day. And then these people still keep voting for these motherfuckers, man. Vote for something different. Try to do some change or some shit. And stop voting in a party and vote for the person or the particular issue.
Yeah, but it's not.
And make sure the issue is real.
Okay, but what I'll say is that before politics reached where it was, right? Yeah, I'm left.
It's been like that.
No, yeah, I'm left leaning, but there were some people on the other aisle that I used to respect. I didn't always agree with their politics, but I respected them. One of those was John McCain. I respected him. I mean, rest his soul, but I respected him as a person, as a politician, because
maintain some type of integrity.
He had some integrity. Whatever his views were, he had some integrity. Even the Romney, to some extent, had some integrity. The problem is that nowadays is that there's just no integrity at all. There is almost like it's against the rule now to even do anything bipartisan. Nothing gets done. Bills don't properly get passed, and they keep kicking the can down the road, and nothing gets done.
And check this shit out.
It's all,
Yeah, this is crazy shit, right? Check this shit out, right? South Africa, man. Back in the day, South Africa had this crazy ass apartheid. You know what I mean? Where they were, there was whites, there were colors, and there was black, and they created this crazy ass social class. The whole fucking world went against South Africa, boycott South Africa, end this apartheid and all of this bullshit, right? And that's about the mineral. That literally was about the minerals in South Africa, getting the gold and the diamonds out of that motherfucker, right? And getting different control because a certain party controlled it, and they wanted to relieve that certain party out of control of the minerals and resources in South Africa, right? The same time they did that, I don't know how long they did that shit. Free South Africa shit for 10 years. They made the We Are the World song, Michael Jackson and the whole shit, right? One of the dopest albums, the We Are the World album, was literally one of the dopest albums of the 80s, bro. That shit hit a point. We was in elementary school, like We Are the World, We Are the Children. Anyway,
that hit us in Jamaica too.
That shit hit worldwide heavy, man. Right? Same time, right? If that shit ain't apartheid, what's happening in the Gaza Strip, I don't know what the fuck it is, but I don't see nobody kumbaya and saying we are the world and stop killing stop killing these Palestinians. And they all not Muslims, so don't even get it tripping. So you can say they not Arabs there
because it's not political expedience. You might get blacklisted for saying that you're anti-Jew.
Hey, let me give you a brief snapshot on why. So we look at Israel. What's the Israeli interest? You know what I mean, right? We need shit like out of Israel, like to run intel. And not intel like intelligence, intel like these damn microchips, Motorola, AMD, shit like that. All of these advanced polymer or research that gives us these polymers. You know what I mean? So those, are our superconductors. There's a lot of shit come out of that place. You know what I mean? A lot of it is funded from here. So if you remove that aspect and, make equal rights, and like say, for instance, in Israel, there's probably 12 million Israelis, right? There's another, as far as Palestinians, there's 9 million Palestinians. So if everybody had equal rights
and vote,
it would shift the power structure. It was seriously you got 12 million and 9 million. That's close as fuck. You know what I mean?
That's the way to shift the power structure.
If you give these people equal representation according to population and district or some shit like real democracies is supposed to run, it will shift the power structure over there. You think these fools is ready to give that up? No. Because 12 million and 9 million is way too close. So somebody got to go. Or somebody going to be reduced to a second-class citizen.
But they are, though.
Israelis, let me talk about the firearms. All that shit that Americans want. Well, we need to have armed schools, and I've been there multiple times for extended periods of time. We want armed escorts in school. When those Israeli kids are in kindergarten and go for a walk in a park, they got 3 armed guards. Those Palestinian kids go to school, they just going to school ghetto fabulous like the rest of us. You know what I mean? They lucky if they get a hospital, and it's not a large place. They walk across the street. You know, you walk away from the Great Prayer Wall with Solomon Temple at all the stuff you hear about in the Bible, and you walk down these stairs, and this is Bethlehem. This is the real life. You hit the pink houses of Brownsville, some shit like that, and it's literally you crossing a street, Jerusalem, Bethlehem, that quick. Not a mile, not a block. You cross a fucking street. And it's a difference, and it's a wild thing, you know. But yeah, we got to go support Israel. And I'm like, why? These motherfuckers give these motherfuckers $100 billion. I don't know if y'all seen Hot Tub Tony drop the link about this little cartoon. We out here struggling, inflation kicking us in the ass.
It's so expensive now.
We can't even get a fucking food subsidy to balance out our farmers and us from this. We ain't get a fucking food stimulus to balance out the inflation, but they print up some money to get to these motherfuckers. How does this shit work? And both parties is rocking with this shit.
I mean, you could say the same thing over Ukraine too. They give Ukraine all that.
Ukraine, same shit, man. And we out here struggling, busting our ass. And I ain't talking about, but I'm talking about our government because it's really not, you know, the government fault. But they're not standing up to corporate Americans like, yo, fuck this. This goes against American principles. It's just like we're the pawns, and we're the people of America seem to like we're the pawns, and we got to pay for this shit. Fuck you. Sales tax increases. Go ahead, guys. Say your shit.
No, I need to go check on your daughter. She just looked at you about to throw a tantrum. You hear her?
Talk your shit. No, I don't hear shit. I blocked everybody out. Yo, come on in here and talk your shit with me. You know what I mean? It ain't the politicians is hoes to the corporations. You know what I mean? They just hoes, man, and they refuse to regulate. You know what I mean? So you say, boom. What are some of the measures to fix this? Right? One, if I was to take a measurement, if I was to create a measurement, it would be term limits on political positions. So there's already term limits on presidents and shit, so they can only do 2 terms. I say a senator should only be able to do 2 terms, and a representative should only, a house should only be able to do 3 terms or 4 terms, equal to that of a senator. So their term is 2 years, right? Their term is 2 years. So that 2 years, they shouldn't be able to do more than 12, period. A senator shouldn't be able to do more than 12 because they get that taste of power and they be feeling, you know what I mean? That's the first move I would fucking make. You know what I mean? Then the next move I would make is to get rid of all the fucking lobbyists. Every single last one of them. Every single last one of them. Another thing that the corporations did, and they used the politicians to maneuver it and do, was it eliminate the rights of the worker people. The unions are weak as fuck now. You know what I mean? They're weak as fuck. Their money got fucked up because a lot of the union funding went into bonds that were controlled by, guess who? Vanguard and BlackRock. You know what I mean? Their dues and their securities went into these investment funds, and these investment funds kind of like sabotaged the game and just been paying out who they need to pay out and dumping it. So I know back in the 90s, a lot of people lost their pension through bad investments, through their, you know, union. It was a lot of corruption going on with the unions in the 90s, but they lost their grip. You know what I mean? That was the leverage between the workers, the politicians, and the corporations. It was the unions. But the unions they don't really carry no weight, but giving the management fucking problems. You know what I mean? All they do is tote the fucking problems, you know what I mean? And they're not, you know, it became a political wing of the corporation and an extension of the corporation, and not a representation of the people. And then he's like, how did shit get so bad? A lot of it, believe it or not, is because we asked for it. And why would we ask for some stupid shit or to put ourselves in servitude? Is because our education system doesn't, especially the primary and secondary education system, doesn't reward intellect, doesn't award you learning. The education system is designed for us to become cogs in a fucking machine. This shit, the Matrix, for real. If you haven't seen the movie, this shit is the Matrix for real, bro. It's pimps and hoes, and we being pimped like a motherfucker. But yeah, but in reality, man, fuck these politicians, yo. And I just wish, I really wish, and stop using these damn terms, as liberal and conservatives and all of this shit, or socialists or this and that, because those are just like bullshit ass terms. If it's talk to the ideology, the Democrats or conservatives and the Republicans and liberal, and they all fucking bitches. They all hoes. You know what I mean? But at the same time, man, I really, seriously, really, 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 really wish Black people in general, because I don't know about a lot of other different nationalities or identities in this country. I know a lot about being Black because I used to be Black a long time before I turned green. I got that from Cass.
No, you got it from Reverend Ike.
Yo, but for real.
Hey, Phyllis Slow.
Hey, Philly Slow. But that shit, I wish Black people would really stop voting for Democrats out of democratic loyalty, because you don't owe these motherfuckers shit. You know what I mean? And when somebody promised you something,
the Republicans aren't really that much better.
Fuck them too. That's the other problem. We don't have that much choices.
Okay.
So what do you vote for? An issue. And you have to pay attention to the issues. That's the other thing. They package these issues up, like, say, for instance, right? They package these issues up in accordance to their corporate interests, like the plastic and paper bag shit. Where does this shit come from?
Most people do not read policies, okay?
And then you have to look at the origin of the policy.
Like even initially this Republican guy that's not running in our area, right? I remember we were sitting outside and the dude was walking past and trying to tell us somebody who was in support of him. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm going to listen to what you say. But one thing that irked me was in terms of the kind of ads were being run, and they were just dirty and didn't make any sense. Like he was trying to say how crime is going up in this area. I mean, it's something that I look at. Crime is literally 0% in this area. So it's like, this is they're using fear mongering to get people to vote for him. And I'm like, what the fuck? What's the actual
The fear mongering is something else. But
what are your actual policies?
But this, if you're ignorant, if somebody's ignorant, the only way to move them is through fear, is through feelings. You know what I mean? But that's why it's supposed you to educate.
Going up.
But I have to watch this shit, right? This is like these catchwords. This is like, okay, say like this fucking mass shooting shit, right? Oh yeah, these mentally ill people. I think we did a live on this shit already, Kaz. These mentally ill people shouldn't be allowed to have firearms. What the fuck is define mentally ill, please? And who is it to define that?
Well, they said this dude spent like 2 weeks in the loony bin, though.
So why the fuck they let him go?
Well, there it is. That they said that there should have been a red flag in terms of the
It shouldn't have been a red flag because his shit was home, and you can't legally take nobody's shit. But if somebody is dangerous, why they even let them go? Well, why they let them out of custody?
Well, that's on them, right? Because
that's on them. People. Whoever let that guy out of the hospital and let him into the daggone world, that's their fault. All those bodies are theirs. All those bodies are theirs. You know what I mean? If that person was commuted dangerous, all those bodies is theirs. If somebody is a danger to society and they go to prison and they still a danger, why they even let them out?
Danger to himself or society.
If they're a danger to themselves or society, why they even let them out? If somebody pay their dues, they pay their dues, they done. If somebody going through a mental episode, they got past it.
That's what it was. I mean, but
he went through a mental episode. He's getting past it. But 2 weeks, you ain't getting past that shit. They let him go.
Was he on any more supervision after they let him go?
No, they just let him go. I guess his medical insurance ran out.
I'm not going to do this connected, and he's not really dead. He's out of the country. I'm a conspiracy thing happening.
But yeah, but that's something different. Yeah. I think, you know what I mean, because I've been in that town when I was young. And that town is just like, you know, I like to say that town is one of those places like the Klan in khakis. It's those people, you got to be plugged in up there. And I think just the way they were describing him, they didn't describe him as a suspect. They kept saying person of interest. You know, any other time it's a suspect. This person is suspected of doing this, and we're rapper. But they were very gentle in their choice of words when speaking about the person. Even more gentle than they were speaking about.
And he's in Canada by now.
I think they were more gentle when speaking about this gentleman than they were about the victims. So then they took 3 days. This place is not like a big type of place. You know what I mean? It's a city. It's the second largest city in the state, in that state, right? But it's not that goddamn big. And the little towns that surround it, they're not that damn big. And everybody pretty much know everybody there, right? If he was hiding somewhere, somebody would have fucking said something. Period. After that, right? It took 3 days to find this motherfucker. I think they was waiting it out and sent him to Canada and got him out of the country. And I don't even know if they even recalled the body or nothing, because they didn't even speak about that at the end.
It was kind of vague.
It was just so vague. Nah, but it was like but that's Armel conspiracy. So that's just Armel thought the shit just looked fishy to me. You know what I mean? Maybe because I know the town and I know the people.
I was actually looking to see actual specifics in terms of where they found him. They just simply said we found him dead. That's it. There was no we found him in the woods, we found him underneath a tree, we found him in the house, we found him on the bed. Nothing. It was vague. We found him dead. That's it. So I was looking for give me specifics.
They found him dead at his sister's house, his girlfriend's house.
None was provided as far as I know. I didn't dig that deep, but what I was seeing, I was like, there's no specifics, which was kind of weird. Why
they got that fool out of the country specifics? And watch he be cremated. You want to bet me some money?
I said he connected to somebody. Brother,
he connected to somebody, man.
Brother, uncle, sister.
That New England stuff is like is different. Look at Whitey Bollinger and stuff. Goddamn gangster killing everybody, and brother the senator, and it took them damn near 50 years to catch him. When they catch him after he watched a movie about himself. That stuff up in New England is next level bullshit.
He was about to die. That's why they caught him. He's like, okay, fine, I'm ready to go to prison now.
Nah,
he died not long after.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he you know that Whitey and Bollinger, that stuff in New England is next level, some real next level bullshit, and they'll go to extreme needs to cover their own bullshit up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I was like, this guy's plugged in because it was too vague and it was too soft for a mass shooter. We going to get this motherfucker. Manhunt, call the National Guard, everything. We're going to turn up everything. But that didn't happen. You know what I mean? So I was like, it's something.
Oh, they said they found him dead near a recycling plant they used to work at. Oh, you got the specifics, Ray? Because I was looking it up, but I didn't see any, but I didn't dig that deep. I'm a conspiracy theory thinking he out of the country.
They said they found I bet you he cremated. Man, listen, that shit is some bullshit, man. That shit is some bullshit.
Well, they say he
yo, come on in and talk. Everybody come on in and talk this shit.
I've been posting the thing for you guys to see that you guys come in and Zadie was up there throwing a tantrum. So I told her I'd be back. I have to give her some medicine.
Yeah, I would like to know what y'all feel about, because I've been ranting on and on about, you know, this corporate slavery thing that's going on. And I always express, figure out how to get your own shit. You know what I mean? If you enjoy doing something.
I mean, right now there are so many opportunities to make money with AI.
Make your own money. Don't work for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, AI is just making it so much easier and possible now. AI isn't the future. AI is
utilize the bullshit they using to control you in order to benefit you.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. They taking all of these measures,
Are you
putting
gonna
all these
post-
things in
Are you
place
gonna post a thing that I said
tomorrow when you iron it
tomorrow?
out.
It's already kind of ironed
No,
out.
kinda. I don't do kinda.
It's done.
Anyway, right? If they're doing all of these measures to control you, identify these measures and make these measures benefit you. You know what I mean? If it's whether it's this AI thing, whether it's the 3D printing thing, whether it's just simple things like
Fix your bad business credit.
fix your, fix your credit, establish business credit, creating the LLCs, forming trust, getting licenses like FFLs or whatever the heck, you know what I mean? Or, trades license, certifications, you know what I'm saying? Learn a skill, make yourself an asset. You know what I mean? You have to make it for that we're not so dependent on them, but they depend on us. You know what I mean? Like if you walk off, they whole shit fall apart. The business go bankrupt. They got to charge your shit down.
That happened to a company I work for. That real estate company.
You know what I mean?
They wouldn't give me.
Then you say, "Fuck you! I quit every day," and they kiss your ass. You know what I mean? Like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to have your own safety net, your own cushion, your own insulation from their bullshit. You know what I mean? Because they bullshit for real, ain't gonna last forever. And you got to attain. I really feel like a person, individual, we can't depend on so much the government. We can't depend on corporations, our jobs. The only people who we can depend on is ourselves.
Yo, Dutch said, now you're talking my language. Hey, Dutch.
The corporate man himself. I ain't getting into that. But you can't depend on the job. You can't depend on the government. You know what I mean? Lose your job, wait for the unemployment, get welfare, food stamp, that shit, and then you just surviving. You work the job, you just surviving because you're paying. What comes in goes out. What kind of fucking life is this? You know what I mean? What kind of life is that? It's slavery, no matter how you motherfucking put it. So empower yourself. Figure out a way. You know what I mean? Empower yourself.
That's a plan B, I guess. And C.
Plan B, plan B through Z, bro. You know what I mean? If you have one stream of income, I like to say one is none, because two is one. One is none. So if you only got one stream of income coming in, you really ain't got no stream of income. You know what I mean? Because once that shit is done,
something could happen and you could lose that
and
one.
anything could happen. You only as valuable to them as you can produce. Once you're able to produce, you don't have any value. Now they put daggone insurance policies and all of this shit in play and on you, just in case you kill over or hurt yourself, they still could benefit from you. They still can make money off your ass. You know what I mean? They don't consider that shit a loss. But they figured out that ways to do that. So now can you figure out ways to do that? So I like to say, if you find something you enjoy doing, man, figure out how you can make money doing. The greatest thing is to make money doing something that you enjoy. That's a sweet spot. And I enjoy hanging out with y'all, man. I enjoy hanging. I really enjoy. How you start making money from it? Now, I got the merch and stuff. 2alphalife.com, bro. For real. I got the merch popping off. We're going through redesign, but there's still some stuff there. I'm working on it. This is all Mel stuff. But support the brother. You know what I mean? I do this for love, but it's nice. Like I said, if you love something, ain't nothing better than doing something you love and making money from it. Jamaican guy who always say, ain't nothing like Jamaican guy you listen to. Ain't nothing like making money, man. You feel like send me cash at me. Send me the cash. Yo, my man Unique Mecca, my man Unique Mecca Audio. I don't know if y'all listen to him.
He's a Jamaican guy. He has some great stories.
He tells stories online. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he tells stories. But he has no shame. Every 5 minutes, he's like, "Yeah, cash at me this, cash at." Say $5. Say $5. I can appreciate the hustle.
Yo, I literally watch Unique Mecca every day, man, because that's my dude. And I do say that.
Cool. One of your shirts or one of your hats. Cool,
Armo. Oh, okay.
smashing that bass, you're gonna have to talk.
Yeah, that's my dude right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yo, y'all like my swag? My
You
swag?
show the hat good. You're not showing it good.
My swag? See my
Nah,
swag?
it's kind of blurry, right?
Yeah, I gotta back up because it's over here.
Because the camera is over here. Yeah. See, that's the better.
Yeah, you like my swag? Look at the camo.
It's camouflage. It's a
Yeah.
It's a black camouflage thing.
Yeah, look at the camo. You know what I mean? Yo, Cass asked me why I keep the tags on her hat. I was like, I'm just so old school. I'm just so old school, baby.
You see, that's what they do in the old school.
Yeah, I do. You know, I do this. I do this out of love.
Yeah, the Jamaicans
But
do that shit.
ain't nothing like. And I am a capitalist, man.
Jamaicans don't keep tags on.
Nah, yeah. I like the yo. I'm old school, man. It ain't fresh if it ain't new. It ain't new if it ain't got no tags. You know, you know what I mean. But anyway, but yeah, man, that's pretty much all. Y'all come in here and talk shit and have dialogue with me. I talk this shit to Cass all day, every day.
Yeah.
And y'all got me in here talking to Cass again. So come on in here, participate, and tell me your things. As long as y'all ain't talking about no daggone anarchy and no crazy shit, because I don't deal with that. You know what I mean?
Face be looking.
I was thinking about doing a live on fucking I see it's a lot of prepping, you know what I mean, preparedness, get your firearms, your ammo, your food. But what about the time until now? So I wanted to do a live about financial preparedness. What do you do until those things happen? You know what I mean? How do you maintain? And how you gonna recover after?
Go shop at the dollar store.
You know, how you gonna recover
Hey,
after shit fall apart? How a person gonna recover?
Hey,
If shit fall apart in America, you know what I mean? Corporations, the rule of all law, whatever the fuck.
I've been saying that he wants
Obvious scenario would happen,
saying
yo.
He wanted things to crash, so we don't have to pay mortgage for a while.
Fuck it. This is what I'm saying, right? Why you gotta be telling them all the shit I be talking about? But for real though, if the shit fall apart, right? If everything fall apart, shit hit the fan, everything fall apart, right? I guarantee you that shit is only going to be a temporary situation. How does it look on the other side? And the way it's going to turn out on the other side, even if it lasts a long time, like past your lifetime, but what about your kids and your grandkids? That's all is going to be determined about how you deal with yourself now. So I was actually supposed to be chatting with a brother 2A in LA because he's a professional in this more than I know. But it's about financial preparedness. You know what I mean? How to insulate yourself, not with the fucking guns and the extra surplus food, how to insulate yourself so that on the other side of it, you have ownership and the control of the things that you're fighting for, or else you fighting and preserving and serving for fucking nothing. You know what I mean? What is life? What literally is life?
We should, okay, that is a good point, Coy. That's what we're saying. Coy is saying that we should be financially prepping just as much.
Just as much. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You gotta be financially prepared. You know what I mean? Financial.
Are we talking the money underneath the mattress though?
We ain't talking about no goddamn money underneath the mattress. That brown paper bag under the mattress.
Financial institutions may fall and your money gone. So you gotta have some cash on hand too.
I like to say,
is cash gonna have any value though?
I like to say, insulate yourself with assets, with things that's value.
Gold.
You know what I'm saying?
Are you gonna have some gold?
Insulate yourself with things
gold
of value.
As fuck. Are you gonna have some gold? What is gonna be? Here's the question: what would be the currency though? If things were to fall, what would be the currency?
Yo, look at the past history, right? Look at the past, right?
What would be the currency?
Go to past 10,000 years, right?
What was the currency?
What did they use to secure?
Was it gold? Is it gold?
Precious metals was one of those things.
Precious metals, yeah.
So basically, if I look at these people that were in Western Europe who got into the concentration camps, and some of them who were able to get out, they used gold, diamonds, whatever. They left anything that they can put in their pocket to get the fuck out of there and get to somewhere safe. Whether it's New York or Brazil.
They diamonds, actually.
They actually did diamonds, you know what I mean?
And diamonds are small and can be hidden and has a lot of value. Yeah. So a small bag could be worth like a few $1 million.
You know what I mean? But assets. You know what I mean?
So
Assets
again,
ain't a whole bunch of fucking
stop.
Jordan. I tell you this, assets ain't a whole bunch of fucking Jordans.
So you can start get some diamonds and hiding armor.
You know, you can invest in like nice, fine art if you can secure
art
it.
always has value.
If you can secure it, you know what I mean.
I
Art is
tell
hard
you,
to secure.
Art run away with my big ass painting.
Art is hard to secure. You know what I mean? But I think the biggest asset, seriously, the biggest asset is not a material thing. The biggest asset is a skill. The biggest asset is a skill.
Having a life skill.
Having life skill. The biggest
Because-
asset is skills because
so
you can force multiply that. It doesn't cost any.
Yeah, George, art don't travel well. Yo.
Yeah, art don't travel well. But skills, this shit go, yo, this shit go where I go.
Okay, if you have a society, if you were to have a society though, the one would be leader one of the most skilled at survival skills. Like you can do, like electrical and plumbing and stuff like that. It might be of high value.
Yo, if you ain't got me on your team, you fucking doomed.
Maybe of high value.
Yo, I can do a little bit of this,
a little bit of this,
a little bit of that, a little bit of a lot of shit. You know what I mean? And another big asset that you can have is books. I don't even know if y'all seen like the book of Elijah. When they time to rebuild the civilization, they needed to look at things that happened in the past, current, and books is art too. Those are some things that you want to secure. When Google is down, I hope you got grandma's botanical encyclopedia.
Do we still have some of those? Women might still have some actually. We had some growing up.
Yeah, so I still hope you held on to, that encyclopedia botanica.
Yo. Look at what Dutch is saying. The most valuable asset to a man is supposed. Why would you say supposed to be? It isn't supposed to be. There's no supposition about this. That is fact.
The most valuable asset to a man is probably his kids.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
Because of a legacy?
Because of the legacy.
Mm.
It's not a woman. The most important thing to a man is his kids. If he got a good woman to nurture them, that's a fucking bonus.
True.
That is a bonus, yo. The most important thing in a man in this world is his children, his legacy. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And part of that legacy is passing down these skills that you acquire. You know what I mean? And that's one of those things.
Don't want to hear shit.
They don't want to hear shit, but that's why they lost. And they got so many options that they don't want to do shit. Back in the days, this is how the game got fucked up. What's up? Yo, this is crazy as shit, right? Back in the days, right? Before corporations took over, before the nuclear family and shit. If your daddy was a plumber, what was a child? What was a child? If your daddy was a plumber, what was a child?
I know, it's a trick question.
Yeah, they ain't nobody else participating. Yo, Coy, if your daddy was a plumber, what was a child? What was the son?
Expected to be.
If the daddy was a farmer, what was the son?
Coy says he's producing it your next season generation.
Yeah. So if your father was a farmer, use a farmer. If your father was a blacksmith, use a fucking blacksmith. You know what I mean? And these kids, they could be whatever they want. They don't have to be what they father. And at the same time, they taking away from the family legacy, and they walking away with skills that don't add on to their family.
In all fairness, though, Armel, this flexibility is also what has caused great movements in the world too, with creativity, where you're not forced to become. That which you're bound by. That also,
it's not what you're bound by.
That also, Armel, but that also was a way of keeping class people within a certain class. Though.
Not necessarily, Cass. This is why. Because you look at a farmer as a simple farmer, but what do you look at an agricultural engineer or a botanist?
Okay.
Or a geneticist? Is that not farming? If being a geneticist is not goddamn farming, I don't know what the fuck farming is. Because you got to splice them weeds, you got to do all kinds of shit. Where with controlling
so what
weeds.
you're
That's
saying-
chemistry.
Okay, so what you're
You know what I
saying-
mean? All of
okay,
these scientists and
okay,
all of
so
these
what you're
engineers
saying-
come
okay,
from the
so what
basic
you're-
skill set.
So what you're saying?
If you're a blacksmith, you're a
I'm out.
metallurgist and
So what you're
physicist.
saying
What's
is
up?
that after the kids go off to college and learn shit, they're supposed to come back and use that higher knowledge
To generate and grow.
to grow the family business,
Or to make the family more efficient.
versus
Or you
going
could go
into
into business
different-
school. You go to business school and you learn business aspect. How can we
I
make this
know the
farm
mom-
more efficient?
I know the
You
mom
know what I mean?
always at least make one of them go become lawyer.
Like if you're a merchant, right? And your kids grow up, you get this basic standard education.
Chloe,
They
so
supposed
where's
to
the link? Let
drop
me
the
give
link.
you the link again, Chloe. Come on in, Lon. Come and keep Arma company.
Yeah.
Your daughter too quiet. I don't like that. You just show up to something.
Yeah. So what happens is, right? If somebody has us a merchant, right? They can't grow up, get educated. They work in the shop. They could get out of the shop.
The link is there in the chat, Chloe.
They link in the shop. They work in the shop after they go to school. They go away to college. They go take business in college. Their job actually is supposed to come from school, right? Not go to corporate America job. If they go to corporate America and get a goddamn job, it's to learn something new. But to add on and make their family little merchant shop bigger, run more efficient, more professionally. If they go out in the corporate world, the whole job is to make the family goddamn grow. And that's the biggest financial preparedness I ever seen.
Dropped off. You probably lost signal.
Yeah, he probably
Chloe, come back in.
Yeah, but that's the whole daggone thing.
Yeah.
That's fucking legacy. And daughters the same thing. You know what I mean? And then I see a lot of people out there. They teach their kids firearms and all of this shit. But what else are you teaching them how to do? Are you leaving it up to the school system to teach them this whack ass shit that the corporations want them to do? You feel me?
Yeah, school don't teach shit.
They teach you everything you need to know to work for them.
Sure.
What's
What
up,
up, my brother Amir?
What's up? Let me turn this on. I'm on Cass laptop. I don't know how to work this thing. Go ahead. What's up? This thing a dinosaur.
What's up? Like you said, most of the time, if your daddy was a plumber, you was a plumber.
Mm-hmm.
If your daddy was a farmer, you was a farmer. I can go back to my family or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It started with 3 generations before me. Someone owned the first piece of property.
Right.
And then my great grandfather expanded from the original 50 acres to 200 acres. And then my
Mhm.
grandfather, he had eventually expanded, him and his brothers, when you look at the collective, each one of them expanded the original 300 acres to almost 1,000 acres apiece. It's
Damn right.
we tend to think that just because it's not glamorous or a small business, but I guarantee you, the first person that had the first Charmin guy had some kids that started doing more, and eventually created most of these multinational companies.
Companies.
Exact,
Yeah,
like
right.
like a lot of times when we call quote unquote the Illuminatis and the all these other people, we find out that what like Masons, Knights of the Columbus, Carpenter, all these guilds, they're
Mhm.
not fancy base names, and they come from these small normal skills that someone grew into
True.
these multinational, or what do you want to call it, secret groups that control the strings of everything that goes around us.
Around them. Because
You
they
look
have that bond.
exactly.
It becomes a bond. And this bond has to be passed down from this person to that person, brother to brother, son to son. You know,
Yeah.
and that's the only way to maintain a legacy.
Exactly, because once
That's literally wealth.
that's the most important part of wealth. We're here to teach our kids and leave something to our grandkids. We teach our
Damn right.
kids the knowledge so that when it comes time for them to leave our home, they got everything they need. And we leave, and when we go, we leave a legacy for our grandkids, because the knowledge that we pass on to our kids and to our grandkids will have that seed for our grandkids to expand what our original plan is. I heard something dope, or well, enlightenment. to say that there was a bunch of professional athletes and they were talking about when they make it, the first thing they have on their plans and everything is they go buy their mama a house or buy their daddy a house or go. But what and that sounds good, but when you think about it, one of the guys said the only problem is we make it and we turn around and fix the generation behind us. So what happens is we have less for the
That's
generations
the
before us.
generation ahead.
You right? So it's a it's a truth. And I do a little prepping, I do the gun thing, but I also have in my mindset that what if shit don't hit the fan? And I'm in my 60s and 70s, I still gotta survive. So just as much as we're collecting rice, just as much as we're collecting bullets, we should also be saving and preparing for when when we get in those golden years.
And this is the other thing, right? This is seriously though. I'm glad you mentioned that. A lot of thing when it comes to ownership and all of this shit, right? And you mentioned a few things, Court. A lot of times it comes to ownership. I know a lot of cats on, and that's what I was talking to 2A in LA and trying to get with him. A lot of cats, they think it's all monetary, or I need this thousands of dollars, this much money, and I don't really have it. The first step in prepping, you got to plan your fucking day. Yo, this shit, they got those that you could probably make them off of the Google Calendar or one of them things on your phone. If you can plan your day, you can plan your week, you can plan your month, you can plan your year. And if you can plan that, then you can plan every dollar you spend and every dollar you need to pay out. Just a little bit every fucking day. And you find somebody else that could put away a little bit and stick to a plan. Y'all can get together. If you can't do it by yourself, find somebody to do it with. God damn it. Create a trust. It don't have to be all this kind of bullshit. You know, there's ways around it. You don't have to take on the world by yourself. You see what I'm saying? I know my brothers, my brothers may or may not be on to anything I'm doing. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Cass, her brothers, her sisters, they may be. Sometimes they on, but when it comes down to crucial decisions like making something for the family, everybody should be in, or friends. You know what I mean? If we doing this shit together, me and Smashing That Bass have a common, a common thing. We get together. Let's pull this shit together, y'all. You know what I mean? It don't have to take $1 million a piece. It might be $100 a piece. You know what I mean? For right now, let's secure this with $100 a piece. You feel me? It don't have to be $8 million to get in the pool together. Like I see Cass and her family, they do this thing like a susu type shit, right? And they just circulate the money, and then everybody get it. They purchase something. You know what I mean? Everybody get it. They throw it in a bag, and then they make move. But
They move it around. I've seen that. I think I've talked to. Matter of fact, it was a friend of mine, but she was Caribbean too, and they have this thing where so many people put the X amount of money into it every month or every 2 months or whatever, and then one person now everybody, it's a rotation. Everybody gets that lump sum.
To
one
make a
time
move.
during the right, and then that once they get that lump sum, they can make their move, and then they turn around and put it back into the system, and it
just keep going on.
Yeah, it gives everybody a chance to have collective buying power at one time.
Yeah, it gives everybody a lump sum of bread to make a move with. The problem is a lot of cats don't really make moves like that.
But
you know what I'm
saying? That's true. But let's say you have 30 or 40 people, 100 people that all put in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of them put in $100 a month. Every month, there's $10,000 cash. When your rotation come around, yes, there may be 70% of those people that they'll do nothing but blow the money. But when that one person that comes in that needs that seed out of the other 30%, it gets because there's always going to be employers and employees. And
the problem is that thing that they do is kind of illegal. It's called a Ponzi.
I will, Armel, sometimes.
Yeah, but that's literally how it work.
I had a conversation with my older brother, and we were saying that some things that was a necessity or something that came from the diaspora or whatever. In turn, over the years, we've they were good when they were a good ideal, but we bastardized them later on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It could be a positive when somebody's getting screwed out of the deal, but at some point and sometimes if done right, it still could be a good idea. But we
If
just
the
blanket
honor
it all as bad.
is maintained in it, if you
Huh?
maintain honor and integrity, it's absolutely fine. But if you're trying to screw
Right.
people with the money and not letting them know, then that's fucked up.
Exactly.
We're talking about Susu, Cassian, and you probably know more about that.
Well, you know who screw people the money every day?
Who? The corporations?
No.
Who?
I'm gonna tell this. Remember about foreclosures and stuff?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell people something, okay?
All right.
Some people may not know this. Some of you may not. So, when it comes to your home being foreclosed on, let's say for tax, pay owe taxes, or maybe even you do back on your
She about to
mortgage,
give
whatever.
everybody a lot of games, so you can hit me in the cash app, but I ain't got no cash app for this stuff. Now just play it. But go ahead, Cass.
Yeah. So you'd be surprised that most people do not know that if their home is foreclosed on and there are surplus funds, that you're entitled to it. A lot of people literally walk away after paying years of mortgage money, whatever, and they don't know that that money belongs to them. Yes, tax overages, surplus money. And if you don't claim it, usually within a very short time, sometimes some states is 12 months, some states is 24 months. It might be lucky it's 4 years. A few states may be that high. It belongs to the government. And they don't tell you that it's yours. They hope you don't know. They hope you forget about it. They hope that you don't know.
And it's the same thing with your car.
Take it. So the same as if they repossess your car, you may owe the difference because they always sell for less.
So say if
it's opposite when it comes to your house. If there are surplus funds, it belongs to you, and if you don't claim within a certain time frame, the government takes it, and they never tell you that you have it there.
Okay, so say you had your house. Let me put it in layman's terms. So an example is, say you have a house, right? And you paid, that house was $200,000. You paid, right, $150,000 before you lost the house, right? That house later sold. You paid it off for like 20 years. That house that you mortgaged for $200,000 sold for $600,000, right? You only owed the bank $50,000, but the bank sold your house for $600,000. They owe you the balance.
Yep. And a lot of people don't know. I actually saw an instance.
They owe you the balance. They got to give you the balance of that money.
I'll give you a true story or something. Old folks, they bought a house in 1977 for, I think it was $70,000, a little bit of money, right? And over the years, they've been paying for this house, right? That home renovated in that area is now worth $1.2 million. It was taken away from them in 2021
for taxes, right?
Taxes.
I heard stories. Yes, and the government
died earlier this year. Okay. Now, when you look at it, the government owes the husband almost $500,000, and he didn't know about it. Yeah, he didn't know about it. He didn't know. I tried to tell him. He thought I was trying to scam him. I was like, yeah, money there, but he didn't know that he was. I mean, usually when somebody loses a home, it's because of financial situation, and that money could make a huge difference, right?
Right, so, but a lot of times, most people, on average, except for when the bubble popped, your house is always going to be valued more than you bought it if you've been in that house more than the first 5 years. After the first 5 years, usually you should have some form of equity. So, which means you should have paid the percentage of principal plus the equity should be given back to you if they foreclose or take your
And
home.
the thing is, some people don't know that that's their right. If they had lawyers, their lawyers are crappy as shit. And because even I remember speaking to a lawyer friend of mine, and he didn't even really know about it. I'm like, seriously? And he was a real estate lawyer, by the way.
Wow.
So yeah. And so a lot of people don't know that they have all this money. Like there is usually there's a list. They have a list, and sometimes you have to wait a little bit after the home is foreclosed on because you may have second and third mortgage on liens, whatever on it, right?
Right.
But there's always surplus, and it's not only even your house. It could also be car insurance. And the other day, for fun, I was like, I wonder if I had any money in New York, and I just looked it up, and I found I had a little bit of change. So all I did was say, "Hey, give me a little bit of change," and they sent me a check.
It's
and it was
almost
like 5 years ago.
So
you know how if you have a car and your car depreciate and you get your car repossessed
Yeah,
and the bank turns around, sells the car, and they put you on the hook for whatever the car don't sell for.
yeah.
yeah,
It's the same principle, but the reverse is
Works.
instead of you owing, you get the money you get the overage.
Yes, but do you know, Coy?
they don't tell you to claim your money
most
though. They trick you.
Americans do
Of course
not
not.
know this.
Armel, think about it.
90% Americans do not know this. That this is their money, and the government.
So if your
shows
grandmother
are not
got
gonna
her house
tell you.
taken, you know what I mean, because these fools ain't paid the taxes and shit,
Yeah,
and the city sold the municipality sold the property.
yeah.
The municipality owe you
listen,
bread.
But I'll tell you, county sheriffs, all those people, when they go to sheriff's office, counties, whatever, they count those unclaimed funds as part of their budgets because they hope that you don't come for that shit.
They hope you don't come for
Because
it.
they sure
It could be a tax
It's
thing,
just like
but
you ever
tell you that it's there. Okay,
or they sold it. They just claim it as
they're not going to
theirs.
tell you.
Well, the state took control of this property,
But
or the county took control of this property for back taxes.
But
Then they sold the property, and then they ain't give you no PC.
no, they don't give you. They don't
because
tell you.
a lot of times, but you got to think a lot of times people are uneducated, and
Mhm.
that doesn't mean they're stupid. They just don't know, and
Don't know.
they're weary of dealing with the quote enforcement arm or the government to go get theirs. Because it's just like when if there's I've seen stories and read stories about people driving down the road. One story in particular, a guy was driving up the road to buy a car. He flew into a city, he took a bunch of cash, and he bought the car, and he had X amount of cash on him, right? Or he sold the car, and then he got a rental and headed back. And certain roads, like if you're leaving Atlanta and you go down 85 or go down 75, if you ever notice, you'll see more cops going out the city than coming into the city. And those stops are usually drug stops because the money leaves the city.
Mm-hmm.
You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
They'll seize the money. Well, if they can find a reason to seize your money, even if you did it, they'll find a reason to seize the money, and then it's your job to go back and get your money. But a lot of times, people never go get that money.
Here's actually, those so funny, Chloe. I actually watched a news thing about a couple of days ago, and it was somebody did a report about right there in Georgia that they had these DEA.
Louisiana king of that shit.
No, wait a second. This came in the news just the other day. I saw it. They had these DEA agents who are waiting there at your airport in Georgia, right? Right when you're about to board your plane, and they randomly pick people, of which 68% are people of color and 58% are black people, and they just randomly say, we think you may have drugs, and they force you to sign a consent form because they say if you don't sign, they're gonna go out to get a warrant and you're gonna get delayed. So you agree to sign it, and if they find money on you, they take it for themselves and claim it. And this was actually expose right there in Georgia that they did.
That's exactly right. But the thing, they can claim it, but you have the right to get your money back.
No, they said that most people don't because
they signed no damn waiver and they make it a hassle.
Too much of a hassle.
So you have to educate yourself.
There was literally the guy that was there, the sheriff that was there, and they actually you can walk away from them. You don't have to follow what they're doing because people assume that because they're a part of it. Because you already went to TSA, you already get all that approved, whatever. Is there a way of extorting money from people? And the guy that was there stealing people money, that was a part of how he gets paid. Okay, So it was basically an extortion that they were doing, all done
Mhm.
by 2 states over. They were from DeKalb County, and they're coming over trying to take money from people right there in
So
Hatfield.
learning how to do this stuff is a particular skill, and you can get paid by doing it. You know what I mean? So if a person may not be as skilled in a skilled trade, if you can identify a problem that you may have or know somebody who have, and you can figure out how to navigate around it, that's an asset. That's a skill that you can have, because you can literally make money just by finding somebody grandma's property and getting a PC. Hey, I'm gonna help you get this money.
Well, that's something that I also do.
Yeah, you know, it takes some PC off of that because you're doing the footwork for the person.
It's a lot of it's just a lot of research to find, and a little bit of paperwork and stuff, and
legal
a lot
stuff.
of research and legal stuff. Because when I do it, I actually do use a lawyer to help me push it through, because they do actually respect when a lawyer, they do get letters from a lawyer to say, hey, give us back our money. They're more quicker to do it.
That's a skill set. That's a skill. That's a particular skill set that you know, you may not be the handiest person, or you may be good at doing some research or footwork, or you may have patience.
We don't take any money up front until we actually get the money anyway. So we take a percentage of it. Yes, if you actually look it up, how many unclaimed funds? There are billions of unclaimed funds.
And the counties, the states, those dudes love your bread. The tax thing is fucking extortion. They take it, they're gonna resell the property in a couple of years, and
they sell to their friends.
And yo, that shit is some bullshit. And you see a lot of the real estate guys buying the tax liens or buying stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They pay nice change for it. You know what I mean? And but they got to give. They got to give the original person the dividend.
Very few.
The foreclosure, the banks.
There are very few states that don't have a time limit. I think Delaware is one of them that don't have a time limit. But a lot of states, if you don't claim it within a certain time frame, that money is gone.
And with the taxes on the homes, most of those guys, they'll go in there, check the public records, and pay the taxes. And most people don't realize that they're just sitting, waiting. You still have an opportunity, even if somebody pays your unpaid taxes, to reclaim your home. It's still a time limit. And then if that person turns around and sells that property,
it depends on the state.
I mean, Virginia actually doesn't work like that. You can't do that to Virginia. Some states allow that. Virginia doesn't allow it. Because I was trying to buy some land that's been sitting forever, and they had a lot of taxes. I'm like, yo, let me pay the taxes and hold to this. And they're like, nope, you gotta find the years and work it over the years. So
and then those assholes is being greedy.
Yes, I had to walk away. Good thing I walked away.
Those assholes is being greedy as fuck. They want you to pay the taxes and get them some change.
I give them
whole lot.
It
wasn't even worth it.
And you know what? If she had actually taken my deal, she would have had some money, because the land was worthless anyway. I'd have been holding it back. She did me a favor.
Because I know y'all familiar, because y'all from the Northeast, about older people, retired, fixed income, and they paid their homes off, and now they're getting taxed. And all of a sudden, Armel moves into the neighborhood, pushes the property values up, and tax them out of their property. That's a really big thing that goes on.
And then on top of that, bro, then it's the reverse mortgage fucking thing that they get trapped on those people. Then that's the biggest.
Yes, they suck it there. And now do not take a reverse mortgage. That's just
that shit. That's the biggest scam on the fucking planet. There.
If they can offer you a reverse mortgage, that means you can go out yourself.
And there's so many other avenues.
Exactly. You can get an equity line of credit if you really wanted to against that home, because most likely these homes that you probably paid $40,000-$50,000. That home property, a lot of these homes here in these areas, 300 my ass, they're more like $500,000 homes just because of location.
Okay.
And whatever financial hardships you have, there's ways to take that money and pull out, and then and do other things with. And if you do it right, if you pull the money, say you got a house paid off, it's a $600,000 home, right?
Mm-hmm.
You pull that money out, okay?
Mhm.
Yes, you got a new mortgage, but instead of when you come to the bank to do your business, you can take all that money you pulled out, except for what you need, and literally put that as your down payment when you refinance that home. And you still now you can still be within your fixed income and out of your problem.
That's
There's all
crazy.
kind of games you can play.
Yeah. It's a lot of games you can play. Another side of it, Cass could probably fill you in on it, is you don't necessarily have to pull the equity out of the house. You can roll the equity that you gained in your house into a tax escrow. So, or you could redeed that shit into a trust and don't pay no taxes on the shit.
Right.
It's a lot of different. It's a lot of different avenues to.
I would say like this. I'm an amateur investment person, expert. I'm an amateur expert because I don't because I don't because I don't deal in the finities. But I know how to make moves to prepare me for later, and then when I know what works. But I couldn't tell you all the moves. But I think like Cass, that's
Mhm.
her thing.
Yeah, that's what
So
you do.
if I ever really wanted to fall off into the property game, she would be one of the first people I call. I wouldn't call you, bro, unless I need some shit quick.
I wouldn't call her. Nah, I call. This is one of the things that she does. Cass is she has the skill of of problem solving. You know what I mean? And that's like a lot of people. Like I was saying, a lot of people are not handy. But if you have a skill of you know how to solve problems or put together a puzzle or think outside of the box or do particularly a lot of research to figure out how to maneuver. You know, that's a goddamn skill. That's literally a skill that you could literally make money from, right? So if you like sitting up there instead of taking, watching a fucking YouTube channel, you know what I mean, for hours, scrolling for hours, if you could do an hour or so worth of research into, things like I don't know, things like these foreclosure liens or whatever, these foreclosure sales or something like that, you can literally sit there and make $100,000 in less than a week.
Exactly. I mean, there's like little cheat games
It's,
too. Even
and motherfuckers say you ain't got no money. You got to figure out your skill and figure out how to
right. I
capitalize on
mean, but in our community, there's a lot of games people don't know. People don't know the whole concept of you. If you get a home and if you have a mortgage every month, if you split it up and pay every 2 weeks, half of what you got, you end up turning around losing 5 to 10 years off your loan at the end of the year,
it.
and you end up getting a whole bunch of more equity in that home for yourself quicker. And you never change how you pay for your home. You just
And
change when you pay for your home.
there's
There's so
another
many different games that we don't learn, and sometimes we don't spread that game to people. You know what I'm saying?
the biggest game that I feel right that we were misled on is time management. Is time management and 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 space management. So the reason why I say that time management is an important
Hey,
an
Tagala.
important thing that they don't necessarily teach us in school, or they teach us what to think and not so much how to think.
Critical
So
thinking.
she call it critical thinking. I call it how to particular think. So if I'm sitting here, right, and I have a particular problem, you know what I mean? Or say for instance, debt. This debt is a bad fucking thing. Generally, a teacher, you don't want to control, you don't want to have debt, you don't want to owe, you want to pay cash. And that shit sound all good. But when I'm sitting here looking at the news every day, all I hear is Congress raising the fucking debt ceiling. If the whole system is ran off debt and balancing budgets and all of these keywords out here that the government and the corporations are doing, and they don't seem to be starving or losing out on any that damn thing. How can this process apply to me? So I got
Well,
assets, I got debt, and I have a budget.
well, here's the thing I've
How
learned:
do I
if
balance all of this?
as long as whatever your asset is, whether it's physical, mental, or whatever,
Right.
outpaces the debt that you create, debt's not your problem. People tend to put dollar for dollar. No, because as long as there's a value to you, people will constantly give you more debt.
Exactly. As long as
As
you
long as long they don't care about how much debt. It's not about how much debt you have. It's about how valuable you are to whomever the debt is going to.
exactly. Exactly. How well you can manage that debt determines your value. And how you can structure and how it's structured, how you bring it to the table, how you present it. Presentation is
Mhm.
90% of the game. I don't know if I'm
Yeah,
word.
that's true. But I was looking at what Jovan comment. You're right. Making the extra principal payment is cool,
I
but
ain't that shit.
even with that, most people think make the principal payment one time at the end of the year. If you make the principal payment during your normal process, it'll tax it quicker than doing one principal saving up and doing one big principal payment at the end of the year. If you turn around and take your loan and you add whatever amount you're talking about adding at the end, just
Mhm.
add as you go, it'll make a bigger dent than it
That you
would if you wouldn't pay the extra payment at the end.
that you used to pay off the
Hmm?
houses in the short term in 7 years.
Oh, I remember just saying what's the principle of paying off the house in
It ain't the
7
fucking
years
principal.
versus
It ain't
30.
paying into the
No, I
principal.
mean no. I mean principle meaning the thought process of paying off your house in 7 years. I mean, the idea is to make, of course, chunk payments on your principal, and then what you do is what people don't realize is that compound interest. Supposedly, you look like you're paying
The
less, but
bird method
really,
I'm talking about.
no. You're really paying more with compound interest versus simple interest, right? So, and your house is compound interest. So, what people don't know is that there's a method where if you just make extra payments on your principals, right, on your principal, and then once it reaches half, then you take out a home equity line of credit on the other half, and then you pay that it's simple interest and pay off your mortgage, which is compound interest, and pay simple interest on the, let's say, the loan that you took out to pay off the mortgage. You end up paying off your house in a much quicker time than the 30 years, in like less than half, even as little as 7 years of the time.
Or if your house
Um,
got like crazy value, use the equity and buy off 2 other houses and rent
well,
them
that is
bitches
true.
out.
If you can also, of course,
And
what I
rent them
is
bitches
a
out.
home
And then
the
let
bank,
those 2
okay,
rentals pay for your
the
mortgage.
bank
And that's
is
how the
always,
fuck's done.
to
I ain't
use,
giving them no extra money.
no, the idea, of
Fuck them.
course, is to use you always use asset to pay
I
off a
ain't giving no
liability,
fucking
right?
penny.
So always use asset to pay off a liability. So if you pull whatever money you pull from the house, you could, in true, yes, buy another house and then use that to pay the mortgage on that house. And then you actually, house always, no matter what, home values always tend to go up over
Mhm.
time, always. So I actually, I said rent. One thing is true: rent always goes up, no matter what, right? Which is why it's always good to actually have rental property, because rent always goes up.
What's the
So
name of that company? That's the reason why everybody gets all these random phone calls about buying their property now. What is it, Black Box or whoever they are? I can't remember their name exactly. There's a reason why, because they want to seize the asset and just rent everybody. They want everybody to
yeah,
rent versus owning the property.
yeah. They're expecting recession to hit, so they're expecting more rentals, and they said that no matter that's what they're expecting. But no matter what, rents always go up more than anything else, though. It just does. It's never over 30, 40, 50 years. Rent is one thing that always goes up. Even if
Hmm.
market fluctuates, home values fluctuate, rent never does. Rent always go up. So
Yes, it does,
it's a thing. Huh?
and it always goes up faster than the pace of it. Always goes up faster than inflation and slash rent goes up faster than what we get back as far as
Hmm.
what. Yeah,
I mean,
so
The property
you have
value,
some
the
people
thing
who,
about the property value is increasing as fast as inflation is.
but salaries are not. Think about it, Armel.
but some,
That's the only
no,
thing I
but
said.
people keep on thinking that that it's gonna crash. I don't think it will, because the fact that there's still a serious housing
The
boom.
I don't know how it is
There's
everywhere.
still a housing shortage going on. There's still a housing shortage, actually.
Yeah.
Well,
And
there's a housing shortage because they're buying all the property up.
That's the only reason. Housing shortage, that there were actually less houses being built and renovated at one point because of the what happened in 2008. So there was a serious slowdown of what was
And
being
then
built.
COVID slowed it down with supply
Yeah.
chain.
So
Right.
that's why.
fucking
So that's why
impossible.
even if you talk to realtors who really understand the pulse of what's going on, they'll tell you that even though once people got over the idea of the interest rate, there's people are still buying homes. That's they just got adjusted to 7% is normal now versus what used to be 2%.
Jesus.
I'm just saying that's normal now. So people get an idea of okay, this is normal. Let me
But back in
pay
the
it.
90s,
Let me
Corey,
still
you
buy.
know how it was. Back in the 90s, it was regular for people
was
to have a 15%. And that shit was nothing.
My first home, I got a interest rate of 5%, but that was mid. Yeah, it was late '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
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 I mean, but the thing is,
That
if
shit
you
was like 7 back
at
then.
one point it was 15% one time.
Yeah, early 90s.
But the point was that homes didn't cost as much.
It was 12, 15.
Yeah.
House didn't cost as much. So 15% in a house that cost $50,000 wasn't okay. We could work with that. But now that same $50,000 house is worth $500,000.
But
So
cash
that's
and
the way.
Armel, when you sit in that, when you look at like, I mean, I think I'm one of my two and a little less than 2.25. I can't. It's just the whole concept of paying 7% or 8%.
I know it's like it's true. It is crazy.
If you get in a 15% and your increase and your equity is going up fucking 30%.
I'm
It's
gonna
a
make a
fucking
point.
win.
If your equity is increasing substantially higher than whatever the rate is,
If the equity is
then it
increasing
works out.
at 30% a year,
It's not really 30% a year. It's more like
shit
a basically like,
over.
It's pacing about 10% actually.
You beat.
Yeah, it's about 10%.
I hear y'all, but I see all the new loan products that they're producing, and it
Mhm.
just reminds me of the whole bubble all
It's
over again.
because I understand because even when we had to refi a house that we had, I mean, what was considered to be a good rate was 7%. I'm like shit. But I mean, if you look at, but if you look at what the supposed value of what it was going to bring up a long term was like okay fine you could still pay it and it was
But I think, if that's investment property, right?
yes
That's a different animal. We're
that
talking
is
about the home you're living in. It's
yeah
if okay these. I mean, what I'm saying is, if you're in your business where you're buying the properties, renovating them, and using them as a disposable asset at some point,
mm-hmm.
then the interest rate doesn't hit you as hard,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if you're
That's
talking about buying this home and you're going to be there for 20, 30 years, it's a little bit.
but again some would argue that with the rate of how homes are I mean the fact is again there's still a shortage people are still buying homes I
Oh,
mean
I know, I know.
area house is still selling pretty well
Yeah, I mean, what you can always do. I learned over the years, if you start seeing, if you start and if you see a bunch of dump trucks and bulldozers pulling through the neighborhoods or pulling through areas, there's somebody buying something. The biggest only thing in the real estate market that's changed a lot is commercial real estate is not quite the same as it used to be.
that is I mean that I would say that is true right because you know what it is I mean the fact of the matter is that companies these days are still people mind I shifted into definitely just want to be more remote now and
Hmm.
companies actually have to really become more flexible about that where they even offer
Well, COVID created that thing, and now they're trying because
I need to go to work to be productive. I was saying that for years, long time before COVID, because when I was in corporate America, I thought I was most productive when I was wake up, roll out of bed, get up and go to work and then go back to bed late at night. And I was,
you had your mindset of let me get all my work done, and then I
mm,
can get on with my day. Versus if I go into this office, I got to be here, so
listen,
it's not. It's
I
not.
know I could go to the office and half of the day was just fooling around and laughing and taking naps.
Exactly, because
I
you
used to,
got to be there.
I
You
used
can't. You got to be there for them 8 hours.
Yes.
I used to meetings like crazy that were a waste of time. And I used to take naps at my desk all the time. I mean, I always had to, after I have my big lunch and I have to take my siesta. So
Exactly, Joe.
like hours of work every day. And I was still very productive and producing. That didn't cut nothing.
I know
But
it
did
never
you,
more than 30
you,
minutes.
and you know how
Hey,
Joe was telling about teleworkers, but you also notice a lot of corporations, like I know my company and a lot of other larger corporations have just made a push to start pushing people back into the office because what happens is, like for instance, you take a downtown business district, and because our capitalist society is a beast that must be fed. If the people are no longer going into those offices, that means we're not leaving those offices to go to lunch or stopping by the corner store, going to the gas station as we commute, going to the restaurants, whatever. And those take hits. And it's
Mm.
and I think a lot of times what people do not realize is I've always said that one of the biggest things about our country as far as problems is we are a service industry, whereas we were both at one point. Now we just provide services, but I've always was taught that if I build a business, if they build a factory, the factory means there's going to be employees, which means there's going to be doctors, which means there's going to be a laundry, which means it's going to be a cleaners, which means it's going to be grocery stores, blah blah blah, and it grows out. But when you pull one part of the system out, there becomes a hole, and the others die.
That's true.
yeah.
Because I
Another
mean,
thing,
that's true. That's true.
another thing. We started another thing related to that back in Colombia, and I think it was like 2008. There was something called Future City. My daughter went to Virginia Tech, and she was doing a project. When was that? Right before she graduated. So that was maybe 2020,
Which
2019.
one?
Azaria,
Okay.
right? So 2019, Azaria is doing a project. She was sending me my daughter's sending me stuff from Virginia Tech about the Future City project. The Future City is designed so nobody has to go fucking nowhere.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So all the old businesses, the small shops that relied on people on the traffic, of the the newspaper stand, all of that shit goes bye bye because you don't need it anymore. Everything is going to be provided in the future city. The entire concept of the future city, where you don't have to leave. You don't have to ever leave your fucking
I
home.
mean, that's who
The
started that
concept,
again. Wasn't that Google?
the
That
concept
they used to
started.
have sleep thing and food, and you know, literally
You don't have to
stay,
fucking
you
leave.
stay 20 hours at a
So
job.
the future,
Think about
the
think
future,
about it. Y'all, you grew up in New York, right?
right?
When you went downstairs, you got everything you needed within those 1 block, 2 blocks you was at,
But
right?
it was all about the food.
Yeah.
Lunchtime. I look forward to lunch. To lunchtime, that's where I
You know what I'm
went.
saying? I mean, y'all had a corner store, bodegas, you whatever, right? Down in the South,
I,
it's a little bit
I,
different.
I found a new
Shit,
restaurant every day.
we had a couple of,
Every day I found a new restaurant.
we had 3 stores on one corner.
Every day I found a
Exactly.
new restaurant. That was
And
always
that's basically the future city. That's basically the bill plan for
It's
places now. You don't you if you're like even here, you see there still build single family homes, but most the biggest growth are mixed use communities.
but for real though, with the and I would like to casket vouch that I may have contributed to the concept of without not leaving your home where there, you know how you have your Grubhub and your food ferry. What do you call it?
you mean Uber Eats?
Your Uber Eats. You know what I mean? All of these things where you really don't have to go to the store anymore.
No.
You just
Right.
use the app and you don't have to go fucking nowhere.
Arma always chastised me for wanting to go to the store. He was like, "Why don't you just order?" from
Use
the
that
delivery?"
use the app.
I actually like going to the store.
You remember in the beginning of the tech bubble when it was the Amazon, eBay, all those companies were really getting going. There was a company that had a short run that it kind of fell off. It was called Webvan. It
Well,
had a
what?
run, Webvan. It had about a year or so run where when everybody was throwing money in it, they thought it was the greatest. It was one of the great ideas, and I know because I trade a little bit, and it ran up, and
What
then
was
then the
what kind of
bubble.
kind of store was it?
You know what it was? They delivered groceries.
Oh, well, they didn't know that they were before things. They were before their time.
Exactly.
Years.
This was the original concept.
What are you looking at? Uh, we actually, it's so funny. Years ago, we had an idea.
This was my original concept.
We're gonna call it. We actually were planning to
It's
call
the
it
food fairy.
Food Fairy. We actually had a no. Jova is laughing.
I couldn't figure out a way to. I couldn't
We
figure out a way to
actually
fund
had a
it
plan to do before Uber Eats
before
happened.
Uber Eats, the Grubhub, and all of that.
We
and
thought of
all of that.
we called it Food Fairy.
I couldn't figure out how to fund
and
it.
we were gonna. Well, you were thinking of the bodegas,
Right, it's just local
because
food.
it was in New York, and people get.
Mhm.
We thought about it years before it became a thing.
And I couldn't
I
That's
figure
what
out.
I'm saying. This is a business that opened in. This was a business in 2000, early 2000.
This is your store shelf. So you basically, the concept that I designed, this was just a SketchUp, a mock-up of it. So the concept I designed, it was generally a store shelf. You go to the store, whatever your neighborhood store is, you would click on the item that you want and add it to your cart and click it, check out with your card and everything. And that store will give you a time to deliver and everything. So that's generally what all the stores typically
That's
have.
it. Yeah, right. They basically got they got their stocking levels electronically.
2010 design that I created. That was a 2010 design.
Yeah, that was something we thought.
And we
of.
couldn't figure out a way to fund it. The client, the perspective, the stores that I was dealing with, they couldn't figure out a way to make it work. It was just a fucking mess. And then I'm just so vexed right now because everybody's doing it. It's like regular
business now.
You see what I'm saying? When I was pitching it, it was like, oh,
It was a
it was a
Think about
foreign.
it like this. Think about it this. Armel, Walmart business structure is totally different than it was 10 years ago. Why?
That's why I
Because
wasn't pitching it even to Walmart. I was trying to build it.
because well, what I'm saying is because Walmart, when Walmart hit the market, it killed Kmart and all the other what was it, Woodworth and all those places because their concept was just totally different, right?
Mhm.
And they became this giant that was not going to be moved. But now, if you notice, Walmarts are actually closing around this country,
Mhm.
which is crazy. The reason why is because Walmart, when Amazon came along, and actually, because in the beginning, Amazon just sold books. It's the craziest. Most people don't realize it. All Amazon was about books. You could get your books. Remember that? Remember those days?
Remember those days, and then they switched to.
They started switching to delivering everything. I mean, true enough, this part of their business is not the main thing. They're more onto the service side and more onto that side of the business. That's really where they make a lot of money.
Logistics, the transportation of the
Right.
products.
I mean, what Amazon mastered was logistics. Really, that's what it mastered.
And
Right.
capturing people fucking information.
And then when Walmart refused to believe that
they could be touched.
yeah, they could be touched, and Amazon came and they were the last. Really, they were one of the last really big retailers to get into the cyber game.
Yeah, I mean,
Amazon actually gave me the concept because Amazon just basically the Sears catalog. So Amazon took the Sears catalog and digitized it. So
Exactly. Or the same thing as a kid. It's just like when Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix and they thought it was a dumbass idea.
Yeah.
I remember going to Blockbuster.
So they just copied and pasted the Sears. I mean, seriously, Amazon's fucking brilliant. First thing we needed a bookstore. Once we needed a bookstore, you got a high value clientele with expendable income, students, intellectuals. You capture their information. Now you get who they're related to or who they deal with. Boom. You capture their information through the gift cards and everything else. Okay, then we're going to take the Sears catalog. Sears going out of business. They still printing out this catalog. We're going to copy and paste the Sears catalog and digitize it. And then just and they end up buying the shit from Sears and everywhere else anyway until they got their foot up. You see what I'm saying? And then they told, catch up. They
use UPS, the USP, and FedEx to do all their deliveries, and they just said we can because they offered them volume, and anytime you offer anybody volume, they give you a discount for delivery.
It's postal service, and then I think Trump was trying to extort them, and they were like Bezos was like, "Screw you," and he got
Mm-mm.
Yo, we had technical damn difficulties.
my
That
laptop
was you. I
died.
thought it was me because I'm in a bad spot.
Sweetheart, what happened?
That was damn technical
I
damn
think
difficulties.
I don't think my laptop. We didn't realize it wasn't plugged in.
Yeah, her laptop is that bootleg.
Oh, I thought it was me because I'm at work. I thought it was me because I was in a bad spot.
That's Cass and her bootleg.
Oh,
My laptop died.
She it wasn't plugged in, or I don't know. She has the wrong
No, use your thing. Then. I
transformer.
only have 3%. So don't make any
I'm
sense.
plugging you. I'm just using it for the light, Cassian. I'm good. All right.
Okay, so you just use your phone, your laptop. Then?
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
just
you have
using
how
the
much
light.
percent you have?
I'm using the light. If I could find a light to turn it on,
How much percent you have?
I got like 30 something percent.
Oh, what's the fucking?
See, there you go. Now we just use that. No camera, just light.
I've been going on for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, but we had to get out of
Zed's
here anyway.
sleeping.
And
Zed's
Zadie
sleeping.
sleep.
I
And
made her. She has
she
a
must have been
cold.
tired.
I made something for her cold, but she was asleep when I went up there. I took a little long.
Yeah, she getting them cold from the nasty kids. But yo, thanks for hanging out with us, man.
always, brother.
Hey, my DC money might just
Money might just coming in or late behind. But yeah, we're gonna do one a better live on finances. I'm just get some key pointers from my man 28 in LA on financial
He's
preparedness.
a banker, right? He's a financial planner.
He's a financial consultant.
Financial
So
consultant.
I think he's more equipped than I know me because I'm a rogue. I'm a chance taker. I ain't afraid to lose. And I don't think that's a sound for everybody. That's sound enough. I can give the good advice to anybody.
I'm way more on that spectrum than you are. I don't know.
Yeah, I burn a fucking bridge down.
No, you don't.
Lord,
Huh?
brother.
Huh?
The biggest trick to all that stuff is
Yeah, I learned from fire. You know, I got to try something, man. But I think it's somebody who does that more profession than a freestyler like myself will help with the pointers of that because yo, shit may not hit the fan tomorrow or next year
exactly. That's
or a
that's
year
always my
after that.
thing.
But what the fuck you gonna do in the meantime? And then when it does, how are you gonna recover? What's the recovery plan?
Oh, Money Mike said he was always there in the background. He said good information needs to do part 2 and 3. And you think so, Jova?
Yeah, I mean, because think about it, Armel. If we don't know when shit's gonna hit the fan
So you got to be prepared now.
until shit hits the fan.
And stop voting for them damn Democrats and them
I
Republicans,
know.
man. But
Well,
for
they
real,
gotta vote for somebody.
yeah,
No, what I always tell people: vote your interest versus your like.
yeah.
That's
But
all it
then
comes
these
down to.
politicians spin our interests and divide our interests up. Like one side saying one thing good and the other one saying something. So we all fucked up. We got to start putting our own people in place in our own communities, and that's like for real. You know what I
That
mean?
is
Get
so
these old
true.
ass people out of there. Get these
But we
old
don't.
people
We don't. I
out of there.
mean, you vote your interest and you leverage your money or leverage your assets.
Let's
Like
demand.
you,
Let's, yeah, leverage your
like
assets. Play your game, not their game.
and learn to diversify your assets. Really diversify your assets. Not oh yeah, well these no. Really learn that yes, there's certain part of it that you can put in the market. There's a certain part that you can put in precious metals. There's a certain part like I would tell anybody my one of my if I was to pick one single item I have that's considered my most valuable asset. It's a freaking comic book somewhere that's hidden.
Yo, I got shit. I don't even know what the value of it, man.
And we
But
got
my
a bunch
point
of
being
Hoard-
is,
baseball cards.
it was just
we
huh?
fucking hoarders over
We
here.
got a bunch of baseball
Yo,
cards
for
if we
real,
needed to go through.
we're hoarders, yo.
We have like 4 big books of baseball cards.
Like
I have
boxes.
I have some of those from my childhood. I have a copy of Detective Comic Book 27 that's considered mid grade, and
My
then
homeboy Dutch Alvin that was in this chat a little while ago, Cass put up. This dude probably got a storage room full of comic books.
don't let me
Um,
get it next to him.
back in the day, he down in Miami. Dutch, you still here? But yeah, this dude, he got like the size of this room, and he just moved it. Just move it. You know,
So
You could be sitting on millions for all we
he
know.
does. He leaving it alone though.
just seal them up and move on. You want to
That
hear a
dude
crazy story, Armel?
was that.
Me and my dad. Well, I was with my grandmother years. This is like 70s. So
hmm
I was no more than 6 or 7 years old, and
hmm
he would be antiquing and go to places like that all the time.
hmm
And this day she had me for whatever reason, and I was just with her.
hmm
And we went to a place, and she paid $5 for a box of old comic books
hmm
to keep me busy while she did her thing. While we rode around town, I was just looking through the comic book. Got
hmm
back to my parents' house or whatever. We took my mom and dad took the comic books. I played with them, looked at them for a little bit, then we put them in the attic, and I actually went to read the comic books I normally would read. Not the
hmm
old shit that I just got.
hmm
I got to be 14 or whatever. Me and my dad took me to a store, and we had grabbed those old books. I was just wondering what I had because I'm
hmm
thinking all my other ones. The guy looked through the books and was like, "We'll give y'all $5 for this box." Of course, me at 14 was like, "Shit, yeah," you know what I'm saying?
Your father was like, "Nope."
Nope, because my dad has a final. My dad has a master's in. He understands certain things, men and money. I will always tell anybody, if you ever want to know somebody that understand men and money, you have to meet my father.
hmm
If somebody's he always told me if somebody's willing to give you something that quick without no
hmm
questions asked,
It's
you need
worth
to figure
more.
out why they want to ask more questions. So
That's what
he's like,
Casper said
no,
about the
whatever.
baseball
And
cards.
Yeah.
we found out that I had
He asked
the
about it earlier.
fourth it was the fourth Archie comic book ever produced. Number 4. We had Detective Comic Book 27. We had
This
Action
movie.
Comic Book
Yeah.
I
37,
don't
and
know what he gave away,
You
but
give
yeah,
away.
Cass mad at me over some bullshit
Oh,
like that.
you know, Clay, about two
Mhm.
years ago, we went to an estate sale and they had these bunch of stacks of
Baseball
baseball
cards.
cards, right? Like
Mhm.
4 or 5 huge stacks of baseball cards, books, thousands and thousands. We came home. We have a neighbor across the street who knew baseball cards. Armin literally just handed the man 2 books and was like, "Yeah, look through them. Tell me what you think."
It's like 6 books.
I'm
I mean,
like,
not 6 books, 6 boxes.
no. So the guy quickly went through them, came back and said, "Oh, they're not good. Let me get more." And I had to stop Armin. I was like, "Are you freaking crazy? He's taking out all the good shit out of there, tell you that the rest is not worth bullshit, and he's quick to come for more." I had to stop Armand because the guy could have stolen out. He could have taken out thousands of dollars worth of
I don't know
cards.
anything about sports.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's different if he had actually had an inventory of what he gave him, because we just got boxes of it, right? He just handed them to him and said, "Hey, go look through them. Tell me what you think." He's not gonna tell you. I know how I knew.
It's from the 60s, 70s,
You know how
80s,
I knew,
and 90s.
You know how I knew something was valuable? Because I remember I was talking to the guy's wife, and she looked kind of nervous when I mentioned it. I'm like, why are you kind of nervous? She looked nervous. And I'm like, yep, she stole some of that shit. I said, Alma, don't give him anymore. I was cussing my ass off. He literally gave
I don't think so.
Amel. She looked nervous. She looked nervous. Why would she look nervous?
I don't know the value stuff, so I trust people like that.
He probably took the good shit and gave Arma the rest of the bullshit. So we don't.
But he only got 2. It was like 4 more boxes left.
He wanted to come look through all of the rest of the boxes, like a dumbass about to hand them over. I was so upset.
That's don't trust nobody, boy.
No, because I mean, honestly, when you get into that game, you have to go to you.
Everybody's a crook, bro.
Right, and you also talk to people that aren't in your area. Like if you get a guy in your area that offers you something, go find somebody somewhere else that offer you something.
He was too quick and eager. He went to that shit in 2 seconds and came back one the rest of them. I'm like, and he looked way too eager. I'm like,
Because you remember like all those. Remember when we was kids and we got the Star Wars men and the Millennium Falcons and all.
Yeah,
the original Millennium Falcons is valuable as hell. That big
my
ass
cousin posted up the daggone the aircraft carrier that
none of us check to see if we have anything more valuable than you. Probably
he posted up the aircraft carrier, the GI Joe aircraft carrier, because we was doing GI Joe back in the days.
I was telling like there was a card game like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh card game. It's called Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened. It came out right around the same time my first years of college is.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought it was my little. I would say I still have cards. I still have cards, and I will play from time to time.
But when I was trading cards are big dollars. Yeah, you give away.
Yeah, but I remember. I have like 1 or 2 packs left of the Alpha series.
Yeah.
But there was a card that was in the original series of Magic. It's called Black Lotus.
Mm-hmm.
It's a freaking cardboard card. If you have that in a mint condition, that's $100,000 just card.
I might hit you $100,000. You know why I said that? Because there's trouble for money else in the stuff.
Please, this is public information, man. And you don't know if my neighbor's supporting me. And she talk about my neighbors. I don't know if they on here supporting me or watching me tomorrow. You know what I mean? Cass is too much. She too much sometimes.
I don't trust nobody. You know, my father always says, Chloe, God bless you soul. Guess what my father always said?
What's that?
My father always says, everybody's a thief until they prove themselves otherwise.
I ain't no fucking thief. I am not a fucking thief.
You know why? You know why I ain't a thief, Armel?
Why?
It's too much extra work.
Yeah, man, that shit.
If you can figure out a way I can get over easily. Oh yeah, but I just never figure out an easy way to get over. So I just be like, fuck.
Yo, my father was the most skeptical. I'm not to tell you, he was the most skeptical man that ever existed. 2 things he always says: everybody's a thief until they prove themselves otherwise. Because we always have businesses and stuff, and people are always trying to steal shit. And 2, he never hired anybody who the first thing they said to him was some Jesus shit, anything about Jesus, anything. And not because he said that he never trusts anybody too religious because they're always the biggest crooks.
Well, I mean,
if you come with too much religion shit, you're a crook and a criminal, and you're and you're probably malicious. And I'm just telling you, he was quite a character. But he says anybody too religious, he'll never hire them. In the first
I
time,
mean, Cass, think about it. The Crusades,
yes,
the missions, and
And
all that.
across.
They quote unquote were going
My
to
father had a lot of shit to say.
yes, yes,
spread the love of Jesus Christ, and
yes,
basically it ended up being that they stole everybody's shit everywhere they went. So
exactly. In the name of Jesus Christ, crusade, taking people's shit and
And
killing
they
people.
and they filled the women with the Holy Spirit.
exactly.
Come on, let me tell you.
I'm just saying. So
But
without
anyway,
my father shitting me with those two things he always says, never hire him but two religion. I honestly, I mean, I'm not. I have my own thoughts on religion and stuff, and I'm not saying that I don't believe in God and anything, but that's something that I've always. If anybody comes to me with too much of that
The-
shit, I'm like,
I
no,
always tell people there's such thing as your
uh,
religion being spiritual,
it's
and there's
your
a such
business.
thing, as practicing. The practicing
I,
problem
Yes,
gets a
I think
lot
it's a
of people
private
in trouble.
conversation that people
it's a.
gotta have with
I
themselves.
think it's a. I always believe that whatever
And
you
that's
believe
another
is.
thing that politicians need to
Well,
stay
I
the
said
fuck out
whatever
of.
you believe,
Keep
whatever
that shit to
empowers
yourself.
you
It's a
is
private thing.
all that matters. I don't care what you believe, as long as it's your
It's a
business.
private matter.
It's your business. Whatever you believe, if you believe that stone is Jesus, as long as it bring you happiness, and I heard nobody, that's your
Wait a
business.
minute, what?
Remember what's happening
Huh?
when rerun was had the letters, man? And what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
When
Oh,
rerun
shit,
had
this
the
thing is
letters,
funny,
Ralph.
man.
Yeah, that shit was funny. When he was in the letters cult. The letters,
Yep.
Oh,
but
yeah,
yeah,
he was in a cult with lettuce.
yeah, the letters was the god. It was called Ralph. Ralph the head of letters.
It was a hit, but I'm
Yeah, it was
just
a
saying that
comedy that you don't
whatever
know.
you believe is your business.
That's your business, you know what I
But
mean?
don't come
And
to me,
politicians need to stay out of the fucking church. They need to stay out of people's spirit. They need to
church
stay
and
out of people's
bedroom.
house, and they need to stay out of people's bedroom, man. For real, man.
Yeah, it's people bedroom.
People minding their goddamn business, man. Money, fuck.
Exactly.
Everybody want to be in somebody else shit. Do I care if this guy is screwing this other guy? No. Why do I even fucking care?
It's none of your business.
It ain't none of my business what this dude do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or what this, it ain't none of my business why they got to put this shit front street for me to make a choice.
It ain't your
Whether I'm
business.
for it again, I don't even give a shit. I swear
Because
to God, man. They,
you like me, Armel. I mean, it's as for me in my house, I'm gonna do what I do. All that other
It's
stuff,
your
I
business.
don't even care.
It's your
I
business.
really don't.
It's your
Because
business.
I got a harder time keeping up what's going on in my house than to worry about what's going on in Armel's and Cash house.
It's
I
your
swear to
business.
God, man.
It's
And
your
they keep
business.
putting this up in people's fucking face.
It's your business. Whatever you want.
You know what I mean? Like who the fuck do I care? You know what I mean?
But
Why do I care?
it's
Again,
almost when it comes
I
down.
don't have this problem, you know what I mean? And I probably won't ever be in that. But I don't want to take care of nobody else's kids, man. I pay child support already, man. I ain't doing that shit no more.
Oh yeah, I mean
I don't want to take care of nobody else's kids. You know what I mean?
But I
So
always
who am I to
say,
tell this woman to have a child?
yeah,
Why is that
exactly.
my business?
It's her business.
I know for a fact I don't want to pay for the motherfucker. That's all the fuck I know. That's all the fuck I know.
I'm a firm believer in this, that when it comes to the whole politics game, like we quote unquote the 2A movement, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're never gonna get if you expect to get a fair shake from your because your guys are pro 2A, you're not gonna ever get a fair shake ever, because guess what? If everything goes down the line and they quote unquote do everything in the spirit of 2A, that is now no longer a political tool they have to rally you up. They're never going to. Neither side is ever going to give up
That's not what
a
happened to
good
Roe versus Wade.
argument.
That shit.
Because
That's
if
what
I take
happened with
away,
Roe versus Wade.
yeah, basically, if I take away the argument of guns, that means the Republicans, the right cannot stand on guns anymore, and now they can't. They got to find something else to get us stirred up about.
Yeah,
So
the laws. That's the
that's
stupidity of
so I
Roe
don't so you'll never get a good shake on that deal
But
or
it's
any of
always
the
going to
other
be
one.
conflict.
Right? Yeah, because
They
if you
stay the
don't have the
hell out of
conflict,
people's house, bro. I swear to God.
versus- people business.
But they
bro.
want you to stay. They want you to stay at our house because some people have leftover money that they need to feed the lobby with. You know,
hmm
they need to feed. So okay, they paid their bills, you know what I mean? They paid their property, they invested their money back into the system, and they still have a little bit of excess left over, right? So
Mm-hmm.
send it to this faith belief. You either going to give it to the church, and if you gave to the church or your religious organization already, you're going to give it to your special interest group, GOA,
Mm-hmm.
or one of these, you know what I mean? Give everybody a lifetime $1,000 membership fee. You know, either way, they just want it. They don't want you to. It's not them needing the money or having the money.
They don't want you to
They
keep
just
the
don't
money.
want you to keep it.
Exactly.
Somebody not
They, they just don't want you to keep it. They're giving you shit to spend it on, man. Spend that shit on yourself and making yourself stronger, bro.
It's almost like it's like when you go to the gambling house, right?
Yeah.
The gambling house got all the money, and they can take if you come in there with 100 and you stop at $1. He go the first thing the gambling house man gonna say is, man, you might as well go and give me that too. Go ahead and you know what I'm
Fuck it.
you might as well you got $1 left. You might as well that one last dollar is gonna be the one.
If you got a penny, put it in the penny slot. We got that.
Exactly. We want all of it. Now once I get all of it, you can go. Y'all ever read the book or seen the TV shows American Gods by Neil Gaiman?
Ass watches. I don't
That's
really watch it.
that's really because I mean basically the concept behind it is there used to be the old gods, Christ, Jesus, and all
Yeah,
the Thor and
she
all this other
knows
stuff.
about it. I don't really.
And then then they have what's called the new gods.
Mhm.
What is it, Cass?
The new guy
Tech,
I think was it was kind of
tech,
like technology, TV technology.
mass
Celebrity.
media, and all the celebrity and all these other things.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
basically it's basically how our society works.
Yeah.
yeah. It's been a while. I still didn't watch that last season. I didn't watch that last season.
Yeah. Cass watches that show. It's all good though. Well, we're gonna get out of here, man. It's getting late.
Yo, I'm trying to
And
get my laptop back up. This thing is just spinning
and
and
I'm
spinning.
gonna just go. I'll catch you guys. Thank you guys for showing up. And remember, man, the store is open. Get your by any means necessary t-shirt, man. And yo, support the movement, man.
Drop the link to your
I don't know how to do that. It's just 2alphalife.com.
God dang it.
I don't really know how to drop that.
Oh, to put
Just
the
keep
link
it.
up.
And yeah, we're too middle-aged. She's a millennia. She's just born in the wrong decade. And and I'm way too Beat Street right now.
Armel, I'm a couple months older than you, bro. Get with the
Yeah,
game.
I'm way too Beat Street,
Oh,
man.
Corey's a couple months. I thought
Yeah.
Corey was more like my age.
No,
Corey reached a big 5-0.
June. I did
Y'all
in June.
old people.
yeah, but I'm jammed out, man. So I learn this stuff as I go along.
I can't. I don't hit middle
We've been
age.
trying to educate ourselves on
Hey,
AI.
Arvin, I don't hit. Well, you can't. Cash. I don't got to the age where young girls want to flirt with me. I'm cool.
Yo, they
Oh,
like that grade, man.
yo, Grace sexy. You
No,
know what?
they didn't like that grade. They like that money.
About that. You know about, I don't know if you've ever seen this group of older gentlemen, all with gray
The gray
hair and gray
foxes.
beard, the gray foxes, and they all fly. You've seen it? It all started with a guy that was a kindergarten teacher, and he just did something on during COVID. Muscular black guy with beard, and all of a sudden, and then he was looking sexy, and they're like, "Damn, Silver Fox looks sexy." He turned
Now
into
they got a whole club.
no, they got an old club, and the girl and make
Look here, Cash. They
Yeah, I'm
they
just saying,
yeah,
Ty,
you
I tell
they
all
might
of them
think
that
they
you're
cute.
that age now. You could
They
become
might think they cute. Them young girls want some money, and guess what? That woman at the house got that and my balls, so I can't do nothing. I'm tell you now.
I got a headache. I can't get with no more headaches.
Exactly. I'm telling you, she got all my money and my balls. So I mean, I don't know what else I can give them.
Yeah, I can't get them that.
My gray hairs might be the last thing I got of value, and I gotta keep that.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, they're like the grays, but yeah, I don't know what it is, but I don't got nothing for them, man. I got problems of my own. Yeah,
For
but
sure.
anyway,
All right, thank y'all.
thank y'all for coming out, man. And
See,
we
All right,
got,
my brother.
all sorts of things.
yeah, but I'm gonna end it live now. Good night, everyone. End the session.
Peace.
Peace.
I think that's still not coming out.
It's not, and this one jammed up too.
Yeah.
End the stream, Cassian.
Is
You
it
closer
gone?
to me.
You don't know how to press.
I
this
can't
thing?
see.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, there it goes, right there. I
not,
can't see.
It's not going anywhere.
You gotta click like that.
Y'all like my parents.
This a touch. This a touch pad.
So touch it then.
This is a touch. You touch it on here, but you
It's
clicking
the
it
same
instead
thing
of
like
touching
that,
it.
though, Arma.
No, it's not. It's different because
Your
mine
thing
is
froze.
no. It's not frozen. It's just
Oh.
I just gotta click it.
You're like,
There it goes right there. There it goes right there.
It's not. It's still what?
No, it's not. It's still
Be a
live.
bootleg, man. This is hold up. I have to see it from here because I can't see.
Why
That's
is
the
it
problem.
froze?
It's
Yeah, my laptop froze too. It's freezing up.
in.
Why you just?
Okay,
turn
I'm
it
gonna leave
off?
the studio. Boom. I'm leave the studio.
Do like a force quit thing.
I don't know how to do that.
Did you leave the studio?
No, I just gotta end the stream, live stream.
Okay.
And
Mm.
you gotta end this first. End. I don't know. End. Right
It's
there.
not coming out.
This shit is hilarious.
Hmm?
No, you still broadcasting, sir.
I know.
You said
No,
the end of
stop.
the stream. You said
Man, I don't know. Do
Yes.
that. Do your thing.
what
Yeah,
you-
Cass.
if you can do what you think I can do.
I don't
It's
know. Do the
stupid.
force thing. You do.
Do the force, which force thing? Force. What is it? Force quit.
I don't know how to do it.
This is why you have it's some modern technology. Shit. What I don't know what I did.
What you
Go?
do? You
I
cut the
don't know.
damn thing off, Cassie. I'm still here. She cut the damn thing. She tried to cut the damn.
I turned it.
I got it.